Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and today's video just feels like a massive one, not only in terms of it being a European knockout stage football, but this right here just feels like another massive milestone on the journey and the re-emergence of Rangers Football Club, because this right here is back in the mix with some of Europeans' best and some of the best players there is kicking a football right now, with all the eyes on us as we face Dortmund in the knockout stages of European football. And I'd be lying to you people if I never told you that the plums were plumping at the sheer prospect of this upcoming game, because this to me is what European football is all about. This is the type of draw that I actually wanted, and I know that will split a lot of people and people have their own opinion on it, because yes, I can understand if we drew a quote-unquote easier team we'd have had a better chance on paper of progressing further into the tournament, but nothing in life is ever guaranteed. I'd much rather have this type of draw and have the romance, the drama of playing a team like Dortmund. Two massive names in football, filled with history and tradition and some interesting ties with each other as well, which we'll touch on a bit later on the video. If you know, you frickin' know where I'm going with this. But before we go any further on with today's video and get lost in the ramblings or stories or anything like that, let's do what we normally do for every single preview and dive in and have a look at tomorrow's opposition, who is of course Borussia Dortmund, who sits second in the Bundesliga, just 6 points shy of Bayern Munich, and you know, they are no bad at football. Now, my usual joking tone and all that to one side, that actual phrasing there, not too bad at football, is actually a perfect summary of how Dortmund's been playing recently. Now, I know people, right, and I know how incredibly talented this team is from individuals and everything like that, but I can only tell you what the actual facts are, because again, facts don't care about your feelings, and this team has been very, very hit and miss recently. Because if you look at the most recent form coming into this game versus Rangers, they've actually lost 2 of the last 5 matches in all competitions, one of them being our first ballot Hall of Fame spanking by Bayer Leverkusen when they put 5 past them as they beat them 5-2 on the day, and the other loss during their recent run of form was a Shot Cup exit to 2nd Division St. Pauli as they bet them 2-1. Which you might hear that, by the way, and you go, what, right? You've seen teams being beat by teams in a lower division before. Maybe the other team played their best players and Dortmund rotated and they were just caught cold or anything. No, that never happened at all, people. Dortmund put their best team out there, including our boy Haaland. However, as you could probably tell by the title and the news that's actually out there, Haaland won't be involved in the game tomorrow as he's going through a little bit of an injury bit right now, as he's missed the last couple of weeks, and yes, he did miss the 5-2 pumping of Bayer Leverkusen. I'll take a 5-2 if you want to offer me it. The more a 5-2 to Rangers, we'll take that all day if you want to continue that rock and roll. But regarding Haaland, I don't think he's going to miss both games. I think he will be back. The injury's not quote unquote serious. It's a muscle injury and they're just being cautious with him in that as well. And listen, you didn't ever want to say this and it's very tricky to word, but it's obviously a boost to hear a player of Haaland's ability won't be playing against you tomorrow. It's never nice to celebrate injuries or anything like that, but you're talking about one of the best players in the world, in my opinion, when he's up there and rocking. I'm not saying he's the best or anything, but he's a part of that conversation because he's got everything, and I mean everything, I could striker ever hope and dream for. And with him out, that does obviously boost us in that. But it's not as if because Haaland isn't playing that they've lost all their bite and they've got literally nobody back there, so they're sitting back reliant on somebody to walk in off the street. For instance, this less specky version of Ryan 118. No. They're bringing in someone who's building his name in the game. He's an up-and-coming internationalist and he costs just shy of £30 million, who's probably about as fast as a human being can actually be in terms of Malin. So all the threat that I'm hearing now, they're going to be limp up front now with Haaland, that's absolute nonsense, people. He will add a distinctly different threat to the Rangers backline, and that is that pace, because you know what Haaland brings to the table: power and physicality. You know how he'll beat you, you just can't stop it. And Malin is going to be one of these players that's playing in between the centre backs, trying to get in behind the through balls and everything like that. So he'll be a completely different threat. So I think all the talk of the Dortmund up front and everything being weak coming into this game is nonsense. I think they'll be alright. And you didn't need to take my word for it, people. You can look at Dortmund, even during their miss moments or their low points, they're still rattling the ball into the back of net. Where their misses come from in the down in forms is actually keeping that back door shut and stopping teams from scoring against them, because this is a team that is born and bred to go forward and score goals. But by goodness gracious, great balls of fire, are they weak at the back and give chances to the opposition. If you're brave enough to go at Dortmund, you usually get a goal in the game. I mean, if you look at their most recent game, that was their first clean sheet in a very, very long time, in a routine win over Union Berlin. But if you take that off the table, from their previous 5 games before that, they conceded 12 goals during that run. And do you know what's crazy about that stat and how bad they've been defensively this season? They've got tremendous centre-backs. You look at Hummels, some might call him the German Phil Haaland, and you've got beside him the power and pace of Zagadou and Akanji. They've got players back there, but it's all down to the style of play and how they go about their business, because their full-backs are honestly Steven Gerrard's wet dream. They just pile forward, and I mean they go forward. Very rarely come back, and that massive gap there is there to be exploited. If you're an out and out winger, you can get there and you're brave enough to put a couple of men forward, and that's even with Witsel sort of dropping in to make it almost a back three. Sometimes that's how they try and counter it, and sometimes it works really well, and sometimes you're just left with chances against them that you're holding your hand up and saying, how can this be such a good team with so many good players that they're gifting that chance in every single game that they actually play? But if you're brave enough, people, you will get your rewards versus Dortmund. And that's absolutely crazy to say, but that is a tale of the tape. That is what they give you. They will punish you, they will pound on you, they will chase you down, and they will pile people forward. But if you just get that break of the ball, if you beat their press, and if you use the ball correctly, you do get chances. And it's this game especially that hurts the old coconuts that the away goal rule has been removed, because if you got a goal here, that could make a very, very interesting return trip at Ibrox. But again, that's been removed. I shouldn't rant on it. I just hate that the away goal has been removed for Europe, because to me, it added something to every game. But I'm moaning and all that to one side. That's all I've really got to say about Dortmund. You know about them. They're a tremendous team with so many good players. They're a joy to watch going forward. Yes, they gift you the odd opportunity, but you've also got to be defensively sound enough to not be 3 or 4 goals down by the time you actually get a chance. If you're wondering how they line up, by the way, it's a kind of 4-3-3, kind of 4-2-3-1 that's just, again, built just to go forward. But with that being said, that's us reached the end of the Dortmund side of today's video. Now it's time to get over and talk about what matters most, and trust me, there's actually a lot to break down for players who's going to be missing the game. Massive choices that Giovanni has to make. I want to fire that back at you as well, by the way. But before we actually get there, I think we'll start off with a bit of Rangers trivia then, shall we? Because there is some interesting links to the two clubs, and I'm not just sitting here talking about their goalie himself, who was my goalie growing up, Mr. Stefan Klos. Absolutely love the guy to bits, but it's not our man Stefan Klos. No. This is a story that I'm sure you'd never have heard. No, I'm sure not one of you have seen it in any article you've clicked. You've not heard it on every podcast. You've not seen it on every single Twitter account since the draw has been done. You've certainly never heard me say it numerous times every day during lockdown 1 when we streamed and I had Giovanni in a Rangers career mode on Twitch. Nah, you would never heard this story, but let me in to tell you it, people, right? Because there is a guy called Giovanni Reyna who plays for Dortmund. He will be playing in tomorrow's game. He's just back from injury, and you might recognise that name, Giovanni Reyna. Yes, that is the son of former underrated Rangers player, in my opinion, Mr. Claudio Reyna. And not only is that the link, but it goes a wee bit deeper than that. You hear that name, Giovanni? Do you know what that is? That name was brewed for the friendship that was made at this football club between Claudio and our manager now, Giovanni. That's right, people. Gio Reyna is named after our gaffer, man. Can you even let that process just for a second? This goes beyond football. This isn't just about reaching the next stage in European football. No, we've went fast and the furious style with this, people. It's about family. I bet when you clicked on today's video, you weren't expecting a Fast and the Furious style reference with your Rangers news. Nah. Probably for good reason, if you think about it. Sorry. But anyway, we move away from that fact that has been drummed down everyone's throat every second of every day. Yes, it's going to be a fantastic moment. It'll probably be an emotional moment for both sets, a family and everything, seeing them actually go out there and that. But Gio's a fantastic player. If he gets on the park, he'll definitely need to be shut down very, very quickly by either Lundstram or Ryan Jack, whoever is going to be involved. But diving in from the Rangers side, then we do have some massive things to discuss. First one going to be, we've pretty much got one centre-back for the actual game, and of course that is Connor Goldson. Because Giovanni let us know in the press conference that Haaland is fine and everything like that from his most recent, his first game back, I should say, but he's not in the registered squad. We actually talked about that a couple months ago in the actual video, that what that could actually mean and everything like that, and did we need to go ahead and buy someone else. We kind of discussed this potential outcome coming, because we also got the bad news that not only have we not got Haaland, who isn't registered, Leon Balogun is injured for the game, people. That's right, he's not going to make it. We didn't get any timeline. It doesn't sound too serious, but he's definitely going to miss tomorrow, which leaves us pretty much down to bare bones. And that just leads me to look at Connor Goldson again, because I know he's got a kind of love-hate relationship with a lot of people out there, but for me, man, his best asset, what he brings to this team, and he brings a lot to this team, by the way, leadership, defensive ability. Think back to what it was like before he was here. But his best asset is availability. The man never misses games of football. And if he leaves the football club at the end of the season and we bring in the likes of Suter and everything like that, that leaves me very, very nervous when you look at the injury record of all our centre-backs that will be left at the football club, because only Connor Goldson can play 2 times a week, every single week. And that's been shown since he walked in the door. So, aye, these wee warning signs and wee ringing bells we keep hearing when every time a centre-back drops here, aye, I'd maybe stop signing 5 or 6 centre-backs. Maybe save our money on the old squad depth and just give it to Connor Goldson. But my love for Connor Goldson and all that to one side, there is obviously a massive decision to make from Giovanni, and we can kind of go with Bassi at left centre-back and bring in Barisic. Which you could probably, I don't know if you can hear the rain there, but that almost felt cinematic to me when I said that, because I got flashbacks to that Wednesday tea, people, and it scared me to death. And now Rocky's knocking lights there and everything. See what happens when I mention that back four. We didn't talk about it. Or do we make something that's quite a bold move and bring in Sands, who was playing centre-back versus a Brof, almost Poundland to Haaland territory, if you will. Play him as a centre-back where he's played a lot of his career, and go with Bassi. Do we go with the youth back there? Do we play it like we've played it elsewhere? Or do we do something just absolute mental? What do you think we should do with that back four? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd maybe go with Sands and Goldson as my 2 centre-backs and give our boy Bassi the left back row. I think Bassi's better out there. I think bringing Barisic in makes me very, very nervous. But again, I could be proven wrong, because he's shown at the European level he can turn up. I might get the best out of him, I might know. There's a lot of decisions there, but aye, I'd go experimental and probably lose the game by 6 goals. But what about you? Let me know in the comment section below. The rest of the team news is thankfully a lot more positive, as we found out Ryan Jacks flew over. He's available and I imagine will play a big part of the game. I've got a feeling that this game was on the calendar for Ryan Jack. Looking at the weekend, looking at the last one, kind of easing him back in to save him for this game, because we need Ryan Jack. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big game for us in there. And aye, that's pretty much the rest of the team news, people. That's everything you sort of need to know from a Rangers team news perspective. Again, you've heard the big question of the episode. It's going to be that back line. That is the one that's on there. The rest of the team for me picks itself. And you know something else I took a lot of pride in, because I don't know how much people actually go and research these or that, but for these videos and that, I go and I look at what the Dortmund manager's saying and that, and just seeing our name back, because obviously we've done this channel for years and years and years and years now, and everything like that, and we've seen ourselves come up and get battered left, right, centre, all that, but just seeing a Dortmund manager sitting there and paying so much respect to our team, talking up our players, talking about our weapons and everything like that. That's just great in my opinion, and just gives me a wee bit of a buzz to see us back in there. And normally I would sit here and break down and have a Rangers conversation about what this needs and everything like that, but we all know what's needed for this game. We all know what everybody's saying about this game and how easy it's going to be and how they're going to run over us and all that malarkey. Very rarely, I don't think in fact anyone has given us a chance in that game of football. But as I've said in cup competitions when it's been the other way, and we've been the heavy favourites versus someone, there is nothing more dangerous than a team that's got nothing to lose, and this is genuinely a game of football versus the money and the players and all that they've got. We have nothing to lose for this game and everything to gain. So why not believe in the team to actually get something? And that's kind of how I'm thinking. And that's what I'm going to go with the prediction. I'm going to back the team, people, because as I've always said, and I've had to say over the years on this channel, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work hard enough. And if we go in there and we give absolutely everything and we outwork them, we might get something for the game of football. Despite how unlikely it may sound, who cares? Let's back our actual team. Regarding my prediction for the game, I'm going to go a draw. I'm going to back us to get a draw. Score draw. Despite our record in Germany not being absolutely horrific and all the stats and statistics, it's actually out there no favouring us. I'll go score draw. 1-1, 2-2, Morelos masterclass. I'm needing Ryan Jack. I'm needing Lunny. I'm needing the boys up here and to outwork them. And with that being said, I'm officially done and dusted with today's video. Now I hand it over to you guys. If you haven't got involved with the video already, please consider doing so and let me know what you're thinking and what you predict about this game. But until next time, I've been CJNova92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. I will see you tomorrow after the game. Take care of yourselves. All the best and bye-bye.